Hello and welcome to Your Government in Action, a presentation of Bahamas Information Services. I'm Carissa Williamson. Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Philip Davis, along with other government officials, inspected and toured a fleet of fast patrol boats commissioned to the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. The inspection, which took place on March 11, 2026, highlighted efforts to reinforce maritime security and surveillance throughout Bahamian waters.
We have 100,000 square miles of ocean to defend. That is why I'm standing here today at Prince George Wharf. Take a look behind me. That is a 41-foot high-speed interceptor safe boat. It does 40 knots. It can operate in shallow water across our archipelago, and it is out there patrolling our harbors, our waters, chasing down smugglers, and protecting our fisheries. Since we took office, we have put over 260 new Marines into the Defense Force. We commissioned 4 of these safe boats and new jet skis. We are currently overhauling 3 major vessels in the Netherlands. We expanded our coastal radar to Ragged Island and Inagua. We started up our drone program. And in January, we promoted 310 officers and Marines because the people doing the work deserve to know that their country values them. Now let me tell you what that investment has produced. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force has interdicted 344 smuggling vessels and apprehended close to 12,000 migrants over the past 5 years. Last year, migrant apprehension fell by 78%. We passed the smuggling of migrants bill, so for the first time in our history, human smugglers carries real criminal penalties. Up to $200,000 in fines, up to 10 years in prison. If you endanger a child, it's 15 years. Our Maritime Revenue Task Force has put $20 million back into the public treasury. Money that was being lost, money that belongs to the Bahamian taxpayers. And our fisheries. We are done tolerating foreign operators who treat our waters like their personal fishing ground. Operation Red Dawn, Operation Dragnet, and what has happened? Vessels have been seized. Hundreds of thousands in fines have been paid. Americans charged, Americans put on notice. If you come into Bahamian waters illegally, we will catch you, we will take you with your boat, and you will answer to the Bahamian law.
The Prime Minister has set out the major legislative undertakings that hallmark this term. The first being the Smuggling of Migrants Act. You should be aware that we have issues not only with migrants entering the Bahamas, but with migrants being consolidated and smuggled to our neighbors to the north. It has been clear in all that has emanated from the law enforcement officials in the north, they were losing patience. By the passage of the Smuggling of Migrants Act, we took a bold step to address a vexing problem. The capabilities now permit the Defense Force, when they interdict a vessel, even if the persons on it are legally within the Bahamas, but seeking to be smuggled to the U.S., to make that arrest and to call those persons to account. Human smuggling is a part of transnational criminal activity that attempts to weaken the infrastructure of any country that permits it to flourish. By this bold action, we signal not only to our American partners and neighbors, but to the world that the Bahamas is serious about eradicating human smuggling.
When we talk about water protection in a country like the Bahamas, we are also talking about protecting the waters that sustain our fishermen, our communities, and a major part of our economy. Let me begin by thanking Commodore Moxie and the men and women of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force for their continued commitment to protecting our waters. The vessel behind us today represents something important. It represents capacity, preparedness, and it represents a clear message that the Bahamas intends to protect what belongs to the Bahamian people. But as impressive as this vessel is, enforcement today is more than just equipment. It is about cooperation, coordination, intelligence, and partnerships. Over the last few years, we have seen these partnerships evolve in meaningful ways. What began as the Marine Action Partnership between the Department of Marine Resources, Wild Aid, and other enforcement agencies has since grown into a more wide-ranging and integrated effort. The best example of this evolution is the recent inclusion of the Maritime Revenue Unit in the enforcement operations targeting illegal foreign charters. The unit itself is a partnership in action. It is led by Commander Boleg of the RBDF, operatives, and operates within the Ministry of Finance under the leadership of the Prime Minister. This unit works closely with the Department of Marine Resources and other agencies to coordinate maritime efforts. This kind of collaboration, ladies and gentlemen, truly matters, because when intelligence, enforcement, and authority and operational capacity come together, the results speak for themselves. Through operations Red Dawn 1 and 2, illegal foreign charter operators attempting to illegally exploit Bahamian waters were arrested, their vessels seized, and significant fines imposed. These are very real consequences.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness hosted the inaugural Health Disaster Conference, aiming to strengthen national capacity for disaster preparedness and medical emergency response through multi-sector training. The opening ceremony for the event took place at the British Colonial Hotel on March 12, 2026.
New Providence and Grand Bahama accounts for more than 70% of the population and hosts our main hospitals. We have the Princess Margaret Hospital, we have the Samuels Rehabilitation Hospital, public hospitals, and when we go to Grand Bahama, our second city, which is the industrial capital of the Bahamas, we have our third hospital, and I'm pleased to report that we are constructing a major hospital, 200-bed hospital in Grand Bahama, and we'll break ground on a new 250-bed hospital here in New Providence. All in part to ensure that we meet the requirements of a growing population and to prepare ourselves, God forbid, that another major disaster come our way or a pandemic. We will modify our healthcare institutions to ensure that we are able to address the challenges of a pandemic while addressing the medical needs of our population. However, many communities across the Family Islands depend on smaller public health clinics. These clinics are often staffed by 1 or 2 physicians with a dedicated team of nurses and other healthcare professionals. Some of our administrators and nurses from some of our remote clinics are here today with us, and I want to thank you for coming, because we all know the challenges that exist before, during, and in the aftermath of any hurricane. During a disaster, when transportation and communications may be disrupted, these clinics become isolated. In the first 72 hours following a major emergency, healthcare workers in these communities must triage patients, stabilize critical cases, manage public health risks, and coordinate referrals, inclusive of medical leave. These important components in disaster is constantly under review, and our team at the disaster unit is constantly meeting so that we can have better protocols in place and to be able to save lives. In the Bahamas, in addition to hurricanes and other climate-related events, our nation must also prepare for a wide range of potential hazards. As a major tourism destination and marine hub, we must consider the risks associated with industrial activity shipping networks, mass gathering, and international travel.
It is a pleasure to join you this morning at this inaugural Health Disaster Medicine Symposium. As Minister of State with the responsibility for disaster risk management, I welcome opportunities such as this that bring together professionals, researchers, and practitioners who share a commitment to strengthening disaster preparedness and response. I'm especially pleased that this engagement is taking place here in the Bahamas, as it reflects our national commitment to building stronger systems of preparedness and ensuring that our country remains ready to respond effectively when emergencies arise. The Disaster Risk Management Authority, working alongside national partners such as the Ministry of Health and Wellness, has responsibility for coordinating preparedness, response, and recovery across our country. When disaster occurred, the effectiveness of the national response depends on the ability of multiple sectors to work together in an organized, coordinated, and informed manner. Ladies and gentlemen, internationally, the Bahamas is categorized as a small island developing state. That classification reflects certain vulnerabilities associated with the geography, climate exposure, and the dispersion of populations across multiple islands. However, the reality of our country is far more expansive than a single label can capture. The Bahamas is not one island. We are a nation of islands and keys spread across a vast maritime space. And this unique geography requires us to approach disaster preparedness with a level of coordination and foresight that reflects the realities of an archipelago. For a nation such as ours, effective disaster response depends on coordination, preparedness, and early situational awareness. When we plan for disaster response in the Bahamas, we are not planning for the protection of a single landmass. We are planning for the safety and security of communities spread across hundreds of islands and keys, each with their own vulnerabilities, yet each equally deserving of protection and resilience. Within the national framework, the health sector stands as one of the most critical pillars of disaster response. Hospitals, community clinics, emergency medical teams, and public health officers must often continue operating during some of the most challenging circumstances. Doctors, nurses, emergency responders, and public health professionals remain on the front lines, providing life-saving treatment, managing trauma cases, monitoring disease risk, and addressing the environmental health threats that often emerge in the aftermath of disasters. At the same time, effective disaster response depends on information. Decision makers must have timely and accurate insight into conditions across the islands, including hospital capacity, medical supply availability, emergency medical needs, and emerging public health risks. Effective information sharing between disaster management teams and healthcare professionals allows national authorities to allocate resources where they are most needed and to respond more effectively during the critical early stages of an emergency.
And now it's time to take a look up north with our Northern Service.
Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ygia Moxie, made a bit of history here today, becoming the first Minister for Grand Bahama to officially open the first Northern Bahamas Regional Track and Field Championships right here at the GB Sports Complex. The first ever regional high school track and field championships were held on March 5th to the 7th at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. The high school regionals, which was developed by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, featured high schools from throughout the Northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, Bimini, and Abaco, competing in a wide range of disciplines, including track, long jump, high jump, and discus. During the opening ceremonies on Friday, March 6th, Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ygia Moxie, welcomed young athletes to the GB Sports Complex and congratulated them on their discipline and hard work in reaching the regional championships.
Good afternoon, everyone. Is Abaco in the house? Abaco is in the house. Is Bimini in the house? And of course, is Grand Bahama in the house? Good afternoon, students, parents, teachers, coaches, everyone. I'm so happy to be here to the Northern Bahamas High School Regional Championship. And I would like to especially welcome those who have traveled from near and far to be here with us at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. This regional championship, as you would know, brings together student athletes from across the Northern Bahamas to compete in track and field and to showcase not only athletic excellence, but also discipline, teamwork, and school pride. We know that it is a vital platform for youth development and provides an opportunity for our young athletes to demonstrate their talent and dedication on a competitive stage. Grand Bahama is home of events and entertainment, and it is also where we have been encouraging an increase in national and international sporting events in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture. I want to encourage you student athletes to reach for the goal, continue your pursuits with excellence, and to let each of you know that win, lose, or draw, you are all winners.
Approximately 300 high school student athletes from across the Northern Islands competed in the three-day event. Under the new format, the top 2 athletes from each event in 8 regions will automatically qualify for the national championships set for April of this year. Also from Grand Bahama, Minister Ygia Moxie made time in her busy schedule to hand out some very special awards. On Friday, March 13th, Minister Moxie joined officials from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture and students from various Grand Bahamian schools for an awards ceremony honoring winning students of the 2025 National Arts Festival. The award ceremony was held at the Belinda Wilson Auditorium. Grand Bahama represented 41% of the entries in last year's National Arts Festival. The school that won the most awards was Grand Bahama St. George's High School. They entered just about every single division of the festival and came out with an award in every division.
I have a very, very busy schedule, but I had to fit this in because I'm so proud of you all. I am so proud of the work you've done, and Grand Bahama continues to excel. And so I just want to again recognize all of the students who have put so much into their craft in order to be here today, to be receiving the awards that you're going to receive. And I also want to give it up for the parents who have been supporting along the way, ensuring that they're part of it, and to the teachers, to the faculty, to the schools, and all who've been giving back to our young people. But yes, I just came here today to make sure that they want me to be here to present these awards, and that you have earned. And again, Grand Bahama thanks you because you are ensuring that we live up to that, the vision we have for Grand Bahama to be the home of events and entertainment, the home of culture, the home of innovation. And you've all been doing your part in that regard. So again, I thank you for bringing home all of these awards that you received. And I thank you for continuing to give to your craft and to be the models that we need in the community that inspires other young people to follow your path. We have some stars in the house. I see you, Xander. we truly have some stars. So again, I thank you and I salute you for the remarkable achievements that you've been able to receive. I see you, Jags, as well. I see you, LIS. Yes. So again, thank you, and we truly appreciate the work that you've been doing.
For Your Government in Action, I'm Andrew Coakley.
More of Your Government in Action when we return. Welcome back. The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, officially appointed Olympic medalist Debbie Ferguson McKenzie as National Student Wellness Ambassador.
When you look at our health statistics in the Bahamas, diabetes, hypertension, etc., and the various illnesses or catastrophes that are on the heels of these diseases, we know we have a crisis in the Bahamas. In fact, a lot of the strain that Princess Margaret Hospital and the RAN faces has a lot to do with the state of health in the Commonwealth. I know at one point it was more than half of our beds in the hospital were beds occupied by persons who were suffering from chronic non-communicable diseases, which are diseases linked primarily to lifestyle choices. And there's some other things about how we eat and how we manage other things, alcohol, etc., in our country. So I looked at some research quickly, and the research that I saw suggests that the more you educate students in a captive space called a school, where they spend most of their day in any given week, unless they're on holiday, summer break or something like that, that the more we educate our young people, the greater the outcomes are for their health. The more they know, the better they handle themselves. And in fact, this research I looked at said that 80% of these cases would be prevented. That means they wouldn't happen if we were to cause for lifestyle adaptation and the spread of knowledge amongst our students in our schools. I'm very happy that we have been able to catch the attention of a Debbie Ferguson McKenzie, because I was watching her for a while. There was no easy way in her journey, and it was true grit, determination, and a high sense of discipline that guided her through her life. In her education, she's a very smart young lady. She is. And then in athletics, and I see we have here Pauline Davis, Thompson, one of our golden girls who is always filled with so much vigor for the people and young people of this nation. I want to recognize you. And so to have Debbie as part of our team, to go into the classrooms across the board and be able to speak to young people, to raise their awareness on how lifestyle choices impact physical and mental well-being. And I believe that based on the research, if we do this effectively, and I believe we will, that we are going to see change in the outcomes that are so chronic and prevalent in this country.
The Small Business Development Center, along with its partners, officially launched the InPower Project initiative, aimed at supporting micro-entrepreneurs in various inner-city communities in New Providence. The launch took place at the Nassau Village Community Center on March 9th, 2026.
This is strategic in many ways. It is critical on the ground. We are so delighted to partner with the Small Business Development Center for this initiative. In our initial meetings with the director, Ms. Samantha Roll, it just gave us a joy of excitement because, why I say so, urban renewal because where we are strategically located in 15 communities throughout New Providence. We feel the pulse, we feel the weight of people on the ground on a daily basis. We, on a daily basis, are inundated with entrepreneurs, potential entrepreneurs, asking how they can get a business started, what can they do to get help, and we are so thankful we have the answer now. This partnership will cost us now to direct those people in the right directions. We'll be able to uplift them. And it's about building communities. It's about strategically uplifting the people, not because I lived in a community which we'll consider an overhill community, I don't have an opportunity. Now we are saying they're bringing the services directly to their doorstep. And our urban renewal centers will serve as strategic place, locations where people can come into those centers, get information, direct information on how they can start their business, where to go, they can register, and we will be serving as official guides, our people, to direct, to ensure particularly that persons live in these respective areas that we are targeting. We want to make sure the right people take advantage of this. The people who are definitely in need, the business person who had a dream, now those we are saying to those who had this dream of starting a business, this process will take you step by step, and we will not leave you alone. So some people are saying starting a business in this country is so difficult, what you have to go through. With the mechanism in place, with our partners that we see here strategically located, we believe some wonderful things will happen. So my plea is to all of our young people in particular, who we meet on a daily basis, that you can come forward now to our urban renewal centers. And in the ensuing weeks, you'll see more information come out, and we'll get you registered, and we'll work with you to get your business started. We believe that this can reduce a lot of those idle things that happen in our community. Our people want to have opportunity. The same persons, like some of us who get opportunities, they want to have opportunities too. So this is going to provide that window. This is providing that door now for our people. Strategically, we have some able workers at Urban Renewal. We have our center managers. All this operation is under the direction of our Deputy Director, Ms. Lily Mae Longley. And then we have strategically center managers, some of them who are here today, and our workers who are willing to help. They are well trained, and they're going to get all the information to ensure that you have a very successful business. Thank you.
I'm Carissa Williamson, and this has been Your Government in Action, a proud presentation of Bahamas Information Services. Join us on Wednesday evenings where we bring you highlights, coverage, and information as we continue to do what we do best, linking people and government.